Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening, wherever you are. So today we want to talk about self-love because we know it is very important for you to know the meaning of self-love and how to love yourself. So I want to take my time today to help you to understand the deeper meaning of self-love and also to open your eyes to see the essence of self-love. So let me start with the definition of self-love. What is self-love? The simple meaning of self-love is to love yourself. That's my baby on the background. Self-love means to love yourself. And how do you know that you love yourself? How can you practice self-love? That's a big question. You know, we have two categories of people. We have those who love themselves, and we have those who don't love themselves. So I want to know the category you belong. Are you among those who love themselves? Or are you among those who hate themselves? Take your time to answer that question. When you don't know where you are going in life, distractions will look like opportunity. And distractions don't look like distractions until they finish distracting you. So if you are watching this video today, I want to make sure it changed your life. I want to make sure this video changed your life. So how do you practice self-love? I will give my wife the time to talk. I'm just, laying the foundation. And as you can see, she's feeding the baby. She will share personal experience and how she discovered self-love and how she used the past situation for good. In my own understanding, the essence of self-love is to become the best version of yourself. Let me repeat that. The essence of self-love is to become the best version of yourself. And there is no way you can love someone without loving yourself. What I'm saying is that you can't give what you don't have. In a man's point of view, self-love is very intriguing, it's very interesting. Especially as a woman, if you are dealing with a man, it is very easy for a man to know whether you love yourself or not. It doesn't take time for a man to figure you out. Because I believe men have a mental scanner, or if you like, can call it mental x-ray. When they look at you, they could tell if you love yourself or not. And we have two categories of men. We have those who see self-love as a beautiful thing. And we have those who see self-love as a threat. So if you are a woman and you are loving yourself and you are in the best version of yourself and you are dealing with a man, if you are dealing with a real man, he will appreciate you because you are in the best version of yourself. You're loving yourself, which is beautiful. But if you are dealing with the wrong man, he would see your self-love as a threat. I'm still laying the foundation. I haven't talked about how to practice self-love. So let me use this opportunity to ask my wife what she understands by self-love. It seems our baby wants to give us the definition, or she wants to help us. She just woke up, which is interesting. So what do you understand by self-love?
Self-love to me, it takes time. And it starts from you becoming content with who you were, who you are now, and who you're trying to become. We have to learn to appreciate our past because our past has molded us into the better version that we are today. And we have to learn how to have patience for the path and the journey we have to take to get to the better us tomorrow. So, it took me years to master self-love. It took me, you have to realize that you're lacking in that aspect, first of all. Because some people don't even know that they're lacking self-love for themselves. They don't even realize it. Not paying attention to the men that they draw in, not paying attention to the circumstances they allow themselves to get in, not paying attention to the people they surround themselves with. All this has to do with self-love. Who you hang around is who you are. So if you're hanging around people that are not going where you're trying to go, that's displaying how you feel about yourself. That's showing that you don't have self-love for yourself. So it took me going through so many situations, pain after pain, heartbreak after heartbreak, issue after issue, for me to come to realization that I don't love myself, and all I have to do is love myself, and my life will change. The men I draw in will be better. The friends I have will be better, will be more loving, will be more caring, because I chose to keep my standards at a certain level that I wouldn't accept nothing less than what I know I deserve.
That's powerful.
So it took me having to, before I met my husband, I used my husband as an example. It took me having to go through the worst of the worst relationships to realize that I'm better than that. that I deserve better than that. That I know that it's better out there for me if I just be patient and take time to love myself so that I can be prepared for that special person, for when that special person comes to love them. Because if you don't love yourself, you can't love anyone else. It's not possible. Your relationship will end tragically. And that's just the truth. If you don't love yourself, you'll never be happy in any relationship. Because you're constantly battling things that you have within. You're constantly going through emotional hardships that you have yet to channel. And you pass that on to your partner. Then your partner gets to a point they don't want to be around you. And you don't want that. You want to be in a relationship and you want to be happy and you want to be fulfilled. But first you have to fulfill yourself. You have to fulfill your own needs. So, as a woman, I know it's attractive to my husband, to whoever you're dating or whoever you're pursuing, for you to love yourself. They see when you don't love yourself. And it's not sexy. So that's why you have to take time and focus on you, bettering you, elevating you, embracing you. It's not who you are, it's what you represent. So
I think that's powerful. From what she said, obviously she has touched many points. And what I noticed from the things she said is, the number one, she talks about realization. You have to know who you are, which is very important. Know who you are. And the moment you take your time to study yourself and know who you are, you won't settle for less. The reason many men are chasing after the wrong people is that they don't know who they are. The love you are giving to the wrong man can be used. That love can be used to change your entire life. If you don't know your value, it will be hard for other people to know your value. From what my wife said, your environment and the people around you plays a vital role in your destiny. It plays, they play a vital role in your life. 99% of your success depends on your environment and the people around you. So if you are practicing self-love, it means you can't be everywhere. It's not possible. You can't be seen everywhere. It's not possible. You can talk to everyone. It's not possible. If you are a woman who is practicing self-love, you can deal with all type of men. It's not possible. It's not. Because you know your worth. Let me assume you don't know how to practice self-love. Let me assume you are wondering, like, I don't know how to love myself. Please help me. If that's your situation, the first thing to do is realization. I want you to realize your worth. You worth more than you think. Realize your worth. And how can you realize your worth? Is by studying yourself. You know, the tragedy is that we spend many years of our life studying other people, studying rat scouts and all sorts of stuff in the school. but we don't take time to study ourselves. If you want to know your worth, start by studying yourself. You need to know yourself. Do you love you? Do you love yourself? Study yourself. And listen, when you are studying yourself, I don't want you to be too hard on yourself. That's not the goal. I don't want you to fight yourself. That's not the goal. Study yourself without judgment. Pick out your flaws. Also pick out your strength. The moment you study yourself, it will help you to know who you are. Let me say this. You are trying to date someone else without knowing yourself. How can you succeed? You don't even understand yourself and you want to date someone else. The success of a relationship and marriage depends on personal relationship. Let me put it this way. The success of a relationship and marriage depends on your singleness. If you can take care of yourself while you are single, how can you take care of someone else while you are in a relationship or marriage? If you can't be alone by yourself, how can you be alone for a while in a relationship and marriage when your spouse is not around? If you don't know how to be self-dependent, if you don't know how to be self-sufficient, you won't know how to manage a relationship and marriage. Because a relationship and marriage doesn't hide your weakness.
It exploits it.
They expose your weakness. We're talking about self-love. Do you love yourself? If you love yourself, then spend time with yourself. I wonder when people say they are bored or they are lonely. How possible? How can you spend time with yourself and you are still feeling lonely? It means something is wrong. Because you're supposed to be happy that you are spending time with the most wonderful person on earth, which is yourself. It's like you are having an executive meeting with yourself, you see? If I'm talking to myself, let me just assume I'm by myself. It's impossible for me to feel lonely or feel extremely needy. No. Self-sufficiency is very important. If you don't know how to manage yourself while you are single, you won't know how to manage someone else while you're in a relationship and marriage. Because you can't even take care of yourself. I'm not talking about financially. I'm talking about emotionally, mentally, psychologically. Let me say this. If you need other people to feel important, if you need other people to tell you who you are, it means something is missing in you. Because you suppose to know your worth, and you're supposed to define your worth by yourself. It's a tragedy to allow other people to tell you who you are, because sometimes they won't tell you the real you. They won't tell you the truth about yourself. Once again, we're talking about self-love. And I'm talking about realization. I said if you want to know that you love yourself, you have to study yourself. If you want to know, you have to study. I hope you connect the dot. You have to study. And when you study yourself, make sure you don't judge yourself. You are an entire universe. You have a lot to learn about yourself. To be practical, if I want to know myself under the realization I'm talking about, I have to be very honest with myself, probably take a seat and have a good conversation with myself, which is very interesting. Have a good conversation with yourself. So that's under realization. Once again, if you don't know who you are, if you don't know what you want, if you don't know where you are going in life, everywhere will look like your destination because you don't know where you are going. Now let me talk about the second point. Do you have something to say or I should continue?
Well, I feel like you're basically saying what they need to hear, raw, real, uncensored, and that's what we need sometimes. I wish I had someone to give me the advice that I needed at the time that I didn't know what self-love was. When I was depressed, when I was stressed, when I was just unhappy, not knowing that the key to fixing these emotional hardships I had was just loving myself, loving my situation, embracing my characteristics, my qualities, and making the best of it. So, most definitely you can continue.
That's powerful, If you love yourself, you won't allow the negative opinion of other people to become your reality. If you love yourself, you won't allow other people to predict your life negatively. Remember, we're talking about self-love. I said, how do you practice self-love? How do you practice self-love? The first strategy I gave you, I said, know that self. Know yourself. Study yourself. Date yourself. Have a relationship with yourself. Marry yourself. That's the first strategy. Realize your worth. You worth more than you think. Don't allow the negative people around you determine your worth. Just because the men you dated don't know your worth doesn't mean you are worthless. No. Don't allow your past to determine your worth. Now, the second strategy on how to love yourself is to have a vision. Have a vision. Listen, if you have a vision for your life, You won't settle for less. It's impossible. If you know where you are going in life, you won't relate with everyone. It's impossible. Let me assume you are going to London. If you are going to London, you have to follow the path that will take you to London. Vision. If you want to go to Dallas, you have to follow the right route that will take you to Dallas. Vision. If you have a clear vision for your life, you won't settle for less. Because the moment you have a vision, the way you live your life change. If you have a vision for yourself, if you have a vision for your life, you won't date certain type of men. You won't date certain type of women. It's impossible. Let me put it this way. If you want to become a doctor, obviously you have to relate with people who have the same mindset. So vision is very important. Having a vision will help you to unlock what you don't know about yourself. Listen, you are settling for less because you don't have a vision for your life. You are allowing men to treat you poorly because you don't have a vision for your life. Because if you have a clear vision, let's assume you said, I want to become a doctor, or I'm going to Dallas, or I'm going to London. If that's your destination, you won't allow anyone to distract you. Have a vision for your life. The reason you are chasing the wrong people is because you don't have the right lens to know that they are the wrong ones. So vision gives you clarity. And clarity helps you to know if you are dealing with the right man or not. So have a vision for your life. Who do you want to become? You said you love yourself. If you love yourself, then you have to have a vision for your life. And you have to know where you are going. Once again, if you don't know where you are going in life, everywhere will look like your destination. Listen, there will be men who want you. Probably there will be many men who want to date you. But there will be a man who deserves you. You see, you need vision and clarity to separate the players from the real ones. If your goal is to get married and you have a vision for your life, you won't allow the wrong type of men to distract you. It's impossible. It's impossible. Because there is no way you can put darkness and light together. No. They don't work together. Which is interesting. That's why I said you have to have, a vision for yourself. Have a vision for your life. Who do you want to become? So if you have a vision for yourself, it will determine your destination. So if you are watching this video and you are wondering, how do I love myself? Remember the first strategy I gave you? I said, know yourself, study yourself, date yourself, realize that you want more than you think. The second strategy I said, have a vision. Who do you want to become? Listen. Your life is in your hands. I'm talking about your destiny. Your destiny is in your hands. You are carrying your destiny.
You are the CEO of your life.
Oh, that's so beautiful. You are the CEO of your life, which is true. So you are carrying your destiny. I want you to take in. Just take it in. You are carrying your destiny. So let me be practical. If you are carrying your destiny, it means you have to be careful. Because you don't want the dream killers, the destiny destroyers to distract you. So have a vision for your life. Listen. The person you will become in 2 years' time, in 5 years' time, in 10 years' time is depending on you. It's waiting on you to make the right decisions, to make the right choice now. Because you don't want to look back when you are 50, 70 and regret the mistakes of your past.
The time is now.
The time you wasted. You don't want to regret it. Make use of this time. Have a vision for your life. Who do you want to become? Think about the person you become in 10 years' time. Think about the person you become in 30 years' time. Think about the person you will become in 50 years' time, if possible, and make a good choice for him or her. That woman, that man is depending on you. Also, you can make a good choice for your children. You can make a good choice for your legacy. You can make a good choice for your reputation. Once again, have a vision. Now let me go to number 3. How do you practice self-love? How do you practice self-love? After you've studied yourself and after you got a vision, you need to recreate yourself. Especially if you have been in many relationships, especially if your past wasn't easy, then you need to recreate yourself. Don't say, oh, this is who I am, even though you have some issues. I'm just being real. Because if you have, let me assume, if you have dated many men and none of them is making up their mind to marry you, none of the relationship is working out, I think you should take your time to study yourself. Maybe you have some things you need to work on, and that's the self-love we're talking about. If I'm sick, and I love myself, then I need to do something about it. I don't have to say, oh, this is who I am, I'm sick, let me just be like this and let men accept me for who I am.
I need to take care of myself.
I need to take care of myself, you see? To heal a sickness, first you have to acknowledge the fact that there is a sickness. To heal yourself, you have to acknowledge the fact that you are sick. So if you love yourself, be honest with yourself.
Be honest.
Yeah, be honest with yourself. And I made it very clear. I said, don't put pressure on yourself. That's not the goal. Don't judge yourself. That's not the goal. Study yourself. Take yourself out of yourself and study yourself. Like now, if I want to study myself, I have to remove myself from the equation. Then I have to study that person. So it's like I'm studying myself, but I'm not the one studying myself. It's like a higher me is studying the lower me. You know, that's how it should be. Study yourself. Pay attention to your life and study yourself. Because I want you to become the best version of yourself. And if you want to become the best version of yourself, you need to recreate yourself.
And recreating yourself, I can say, what can help you do this is to write it down.
That's good.
Write down things that you know that are affecting your life in a negative way, that are not bringing positivity towards you, that is holding that dark cloud over you. Write it down so that way you can work on it. That way, your mind processes things better when you write it down. So it will help you when you decide to think badly or make a wrong decision. You'll think back on this note that you gave to yourself, and you'll be like, okay, I said I wasn't going to do that anymore. I remember. Let's do something else. Let's exchange this negative with the positive. Let's exit out this bad habit. We have to get rid of our bad habits. That's part of self-love as well.
I think that's the essence of self-love. Because if you are loving yourself, there are some things you need to remove, and there are some things you need to add. So you have to be honest to the extent of removing even the things you don't want to remove if they are affecting your life.
Even if you don't want to remove.
And
women, y'all know, relationships are a good example. That man that y'all holding on to, that y'all feel like is giving y'all what y'all need, but also destroying you emotionally.
And love doesn't destroy anyone.
It does not.
So if it's hurting you, then it's not love.
It's not love.
If it's destroying you, if your relationship is destroying you, if that man is distracting you, it's not love.
And if you're putting up with it, you don't love yourself.
Love comes with clarity. Lust comes with confusion. Love comes with confidence. Lust comes with
the worst of the worst. You don't want lust.
I'm just trying to imagine the phrase to describe it.
Yeah, if your goal is to get married, have a family, have children, lust should be out of the equation. You should be putting yourself on a pedestal for a man to love you. Loving yourself so you can teach someone how to love you. How you love yourself is how you teach someone how to love you.
So we're talking about recreating yourself. Recreate yourself. It's okay if your past is messed up. It's okay.
It's okay.
We are not here to condemn you. We are here to help you to recreate your life. It's not over. You can still start right now
Right now.
Right now, to love yourself. So recreate yourself. Don't confuse. Don't confuse distraction for love. Don't confuse lust for love. Don't allow people to use and dump you as if you're worthless. No. Know who you are.
What?
Know who you are. So we're still talking about recreating yourself. And let me be more practical on how you can recreate yourself. Work on your mind, which is very important. Work on your mind.
Focus on your goals.
Definitely focus on your goals. Because you want to become the best version of yourself.
Absolutely.
So if I love myself, it means I want the best for myself. And if I want the best for myself, then I have to work on myself. I have to focus on my goals. I have to, if I need to read books, I have to read the books. If I need to attend some seminars, then I have to do it. Listen, you need to recreate yourself. If you don't like who you are now, then you still have the opportunity to recreate yourself. Let me help you. Just picture the man you want to become in 30 years time, 4 years time, 5 years time. It doesn't matter. Just picture that man or picture that woman you want to become in 30 years time, 4 years time, and make the right choice for him or her. Let's assume if the person you want to become, if the woman you want to become is Michelle Obama, for example, if that's the type of woman you want to become, then you have to pay attention to the formula she used. And obviously, she read a lot of books, she went to school, she did a lot of stuff. So, you have to work on yourself by doing the right things that will take you to your destination. So, recreate yourself is very important, especially if your past is tough, especially if you've been through a lot. Believe me, you need to recreate yourself. I'm not here to tell you to just be you. No, not always. You don't have to be you don't have to be who you are every time. No. Sometimes you need to be honest with yourself and recreate yourself to become the best version of yourself. I hope you recreate yourself after watching this video. Before we call it a day, the last strategy I want to give you on self-love is to forgive yourself. Forgive yourself. If you've been with different men and they take you for granted, forgive them and forgive yourself. Listen, sometimes a good heart doesn't see the bad in others on time. Maybe you didn't know better, but now you know. Forgive yourself. Another reason why you should forgive yourself is because all you've been through are working for your good. All you've been through are preparing you to become the best version of yourself. Listen, You won't know the value of darkness. Let me put it this way. You won't know the value of light if you haven't experienced darkness. You won't know. You won't know the value of a good person if you haven't experienced some bad people. Because when you meet the man of your dream or the woman of your dream, it should be very easy for you to compare. Psychologically or mentally, you can really compare the two and see the difference. Your journey will help you to know and value your spouse more because you now know the value, because you've been through a lot. So I believe all you've been through is preparing you for what you ask for. So don't be too hard on yourself. Don't be too hard on yourself. Forgive yourself. If you love yourself, forgive yourself. Don't allow your mistakes to destroy you. Don't allow the past to determine your future. And don't allow those who took you for granted to determine your worth. Once again, forgive yourself. Don't be too hard on yourself. So I will allow my wife to say something.
Self-love is the best love. Self-love over everything. Take time to love you. Take time to figure out who you are, who you want to become. Take time to embrace your flaws. Take time to perfect whatever you feel like you need to perfect. Embrace your imperfections. You are the CEO of your life. You are in charge of your emotions. Don't make decisions based off of your emotions. When you're sad, we make reckless decisions. And it could cause a setback in the newer you. So, give it your all. Start today. Don't wait until tomorrow. Tomorrow is not promised.
Another thing I want to say before we call it a day about self-love is to set boundaries. Set boundaries. Set boundaries.
Absolutely.
You know, the reason I'm telling you to set boundaries is it's because without boundaries you can't get to your destination. Because distractions are everywhere. And listen, let me say this again. Distractions don't look like distractions until they finish distracting you.
How?
That man might be a distraction, but you won't know until he finish distracting you. Don't allow people to come in and out of your life as they want. No, have boundary for your life. Have standards. This is who I am. This is what I want. These are my expectations. Let me assume you want a husband. If you want a husband, then you have to have boundaries for your life so that you won't allow the jokers to play with you. So have a clear boundary for your life.
Oh. And don't accept nothing less. Don't accept this because they have that. When really you know you don't want that. You get what I'm saying?
That's powerful, and I think it's even better to be, it's even better to stay single
Yeah.
than to have
Have.
something less or have, which is terrible.
It's terrible.
You know, because some people would say that half bread is better than none. And what if they add the half bread is poisoned bread? You see? So if the half bread is poisoned, it's better to stay in hunger than to take that half bread
And wait
die.
for their right loaf of bread.
That's it.
That's gonna fill you.
So it's it's very important for you to wait. There's a season in life where you have to wait. Work on yourself. That's why I talked about knowing your words and having a vision. Because if you know your words, you have a vision, you won't allow men or you won't allow anybody to distract you.
You have a vision of what you will and will not tolerate.
Exactly. Also, it determines everything about your life. For example, you can see me everywhere. For example, I don't go to clubs because going to club has nothing to do with my destination. It's not that club is bad, it's just not my type of thing to do. So if you have a vision for your life, then you need the boundaries, you see?
Act accordingly.
Act accordingly. One thing is to say, oh, I love myself, but the other thing is to show it. Once again, I started this video by saying men have mental scanner, they have mental x-ray. It doesn't take men eternity to know your words. No, it doesn't take men. It doesn't take men forever to know if you are a wife material or to know or to know your what. It doesn't take men forever. If a man wants to marry you, he knows right at that moment. It's not a thing of, oh, let me study her for 5 months, let me study her for 10 months, let's see how it goes. No. The first day he sets his eyes on you. Right at that moment, he knows if he wants to marry you or he just wants to sleep with you. And they might not tell you these things. They might not, but believe me, they know. Right at that moment, anything else is just a bonus. Or if you like, you can say everything else is just a cover-up story. Once again, before we call it a day, I want you to remember the things we talked about. We talked about self-love and how to practice self-love. The first one is to know yourself. The second one is to have a vision for your life. The third one I said to create yourself. The fourth one I said forgive yourself. 5 I said set boundaries. Set boundaries. I hope this video help you. I hope this video help you to love yourself. The moment you love yourself, you won't settle for less anymore. So if you are watching this video and you are settling for less, it means you haven't started the journey to love yourself.
Start the journey.
Even though it appears as though you love yourself, but you haven't. So start the journey right now. If you have distractions around you And listen, I've said it, distractions could come in many forms. If you have distractions around you and you want to be very serious with your life, the first thing is to destroy all the distractions. Cut them out of your life. Cut the distractions out of your life and be focused on where you are going. In conclusion, if you don't know where you are going in life, everywhere will look like your destination. If you don't know your worth, many people will try to define your words wrongly. Love yourself. I will allow my wife to conclude it.
Thank you guys so much for watching. Thank you guys so much for liking this page. We have so much more in store for you guys to talk about. Us being married, we have a lot to share. So you guys have a great day. Stay great. We appreciate you. We value you. And thanks for watching.